I am doing This Week in Astrology. This is astrology for July 7th through 13th, 2024. Often the first step in real healing is about learning to draw the line and have a few boundaries. When we decide to respect and honor our gut instincts and are willing to learn from our mistakes rather than follow a book of rules that were established a long time ago, we begin to cultivate a sense of personal pride and self-autonomy. Let's be clear, that does not mean you won't make mistakes. Oh, you're going to make lots of mistakes. It just means that you would rather make your own choices and learn from those mistakes rather than blindly follow the words of someone else who you would then resent terribly if those choices and actions did not have the outcome that you were wanting. The latter causes us to fall into the life-sucking waters of blame, and that can get us really stuck for a long time if we let it. When you empower yourself to learn and grow through making your own choices and mistakes, then you can only blame yourself. And once you get past that piddly, childish response to things, you will discover that there is so much more freedom and excitement when you are allowed to find your own way. Most religions and dogmas lock us into the parameters of their beliefs, biases, rules, and tools. But that desire to stay safe leads us to having to face the reality that we are afraid to do things on our own. We cling to rules and recite phrases and paragraphs of things that others have said as a way to bolster our position and validate our choices. But this is only promoting a false self, and false selves are exhausting to maintain over time. Authenticity is easy, effortless, and freeing, so we need more of that this week. What happens when we have our old reality, the old ego position, and the old paradigm is no longer needed? So what happens when we have that? What happens when the soul decides to find out what is on the other side of that hidden fear that was needed for safety and belonging? What is on the other side of your true self, freedom, and self-autonomy? Fitting into the rules of others will never make you happy. The truth is that fitting into anyone's box is eventually going to feel too constraining and tight. What gets us out of that box is our creative spirit. Creative expression never fits into the molds of others. Your spirit must learn to work through the patterns of this life, your DNA, your wounding, your gifts, and your preferences. Because of all those requirements, what eventually becomes clear is that there will be no system of truth that will perfectly match who and what you are. And that realization will free you from needing to belong and instead give permission to find those places, paths, spiritual awakenings, and powerful connections with others that open the closed doors in your psyche. We start off this week with the powerful movement of the moon in Leo, going into Leo on July 7th. Seems a loud roar is trying to get out. There is a form of power coming out that is willing to make a choice and move towards those goals more fearlessly and without needing permission. July 9th, the moon will move into the meticulous and spreadsheet sign of Virgo. We want our lists and be able to check things off those lists. This allows us to see the progression and to be able to enjoy our accomplishments more fully. Just remember to not get in the way of others and their quest for a modicum of control. July 10th, Saturn and the Sun will trine, and because Saturn is currently retrograde, we have a chance to deal with our communication skills in some new ways. Saturn retrograde allows us to see where we have allowed our boundaries to be overridden and to make some very necessary adjustments. I have a simple rule. Anyone who moves from a place of anger, intentional cruelty, and resentment and uses words or actions in ways that intend to hurt, harm, or cause suffering, that person will no longer be a part of my life. It seems simple enough, but it is difficult to apply, especially when it is a person you care about and have tried to help. I don't lash out at them. I just gracefully exit stage left. With the Sun in Cancer, water, and Saturn retrograde in Pisces, water, emotions are running high, and we have a chance to clearly choose ourselves over others. Sun in Cancer. We see a powerful need to create healthy relationships based on honor, respect, truth, and trust. We cannot build a life that works for us if we are obsessed with trying to do what makes others happy. On July 11th, Venus goes into Leo, fire on fire. I love when expression is clear and creating beauty is the focus. This can be a loving day where harmony is the focus, thus promoting new forms that balance out things. We feel warmer and more generous, and we are willing to shine that light and love on others. This day reminds us of the power that love really has to heal and allow us to honorably connect with others. Everyone wants to be seen, and today we feel confident enough in who we are to relax and finally see others. That allows them to have a yearning to show us their best selves and the gifts they offer. Each person radiates light differently. Each frequency of that light is unique, so let it shine. This same day, Venus will oppose Pluto. This will catapult many things to the surface because it will oppose Pluto in Aquarius. This is a powerful doorway. Unfortunately, it leads into the darkest and deepest places inside. Expect those things to surface that you thought were complete but had just been brushed aside. The root patterns in our subconscious seem to need to be reevaluated and redefined. Today is a peak day, and the rest of the week seems to slowly dissipate and seems to be of less consequence. Overall, this is a week to reconnect to our deepest self and to reclaim our own boundaries. Something from our subconscious is asking to be healed and more fully integrated. The acceptance we have been wanting and waiting for from others is no longer going to be of interest or even necessary. And that leads us to a doorway for personal healing and transformation, where it is no longer about needing anyone's approval. It is only important to embrace all that we are. If you are the one being cut off and stepped away from, just know that you will need to take a hard look at how your words and actions have created this moment for your awakening and healing. Thanks, everyone.